When we talk about structure, I mean, really everything has structure, but we often think of it as the sort of mechanical things like houses and bridges and roads and cars and stuff like that. So, but maybe I'd consider that even jellyfish have structure. So let's dive into this one for a few minutes to look at the intriguing essence of structure. This is a place where those who suspect they're innately wise, brilliant and powerful come to learn how to transform their lives, one cognition, one realization and one blinding flash of the obvious at a time. We are the innovators, the record breakers, the world makers and creators of all kinds. We supersede the suppressive worldview of mass ignorance and awaken the strength within. We are waking up to our innate secrets. My name is Dr. Mark Postles and welcome to the In8 Secrets podcast. So everything does have structure. The form that something takes will give to it its function. So in other words, if you're in a building and the one wall is angling in and another wall is cracking and leaning out, I would suggest that you wouldn't feel too safe in that building, that there'd be a concern for the integrity of the building and it wouldn't be necessarily serving the function that it was designed to. And so therein lies the relationship between structure and function, that the function of anything depends upon the structure of that thing. Now that may be, say, your workplace. You know, if the workplace is in a weird random structure, then you're going to have function which is parallel to that, which may be weird and may be random. If you have your day which doesn't have any structure, which it's important to have from time to time in a day, so that you can be spontaneous and allow that day to meander as it does. But it doesn't necessarily have a function or a design function until you've actually acted on that lack of structure, which is then actually becomes structure. So, looking at, say, your body, your body is a symmetrical thing that stays upright according to or defying the laws of gravity. The structure of your body affects the function. If your body is twisted and tilted, it does affect the way that your body functions. So in many areas of life, in fact, all areas of life, we have this influence of structure over function. Now, let's have a look at it, maybe at a final level. We have the structure of certain actions. I'll just chunk this one down maybe. The structure of certain actions has an effect on their function. So if you're doing a particular movement, say, hitting a tennis racket, or hitting a tennis ball with a tennis racket, then there's going to be a certain structure to that. There's going to be an optimal way in which that tennis racket can connect with the ball and put the desired spin on and have a certain effect. And the structure, if it's altered, will have a different effect. The ball may not go where you want it to go, because the structure is not sending it in that direction. It may be that you've got a certain path in mind for a destination, and there will be an optimum structure to that journey, so that if you take a different path on it, and that will lead you through a different journey and may not even get you to that destination. So bear in mind that everything we do in terms of our actions has a structure affecting the function. Likewise, systems are therefore designed to bring about certain outcomes. So you have a system that gets you the dishes washed, a system that gets you a job done in the morning, such as maybe brushing your teeth, a job done in the office which includes serving a customer, a job done with going out to dinner. There's a system that you put in place to get a certain job done. And that's a design. It's a point-to-point-to-point thing that allows for a certain outcome to happen. Now, if you go into the deeper areas of structure, then the belief structure is a critical structure that affects your outcome. So everything you believe will have the outcome associated with that belief. And if you do a different belief, then you'll get a different outcome. And this is an area which obviously within the innate model we have a close attention and fascination for. In fact, from this point downwards in terms of going deeper, is where the innate model really seizes the essence of the joy and the productivity of our life. Because if we can look at our beliefs and we look at our words around our beliefs, then we start to see the self-fulfilling prophecies that we create for ourselves in our lives. And it becomes very obvious then that the structure of our thinking, the structure of our words, and the structure of our beliefs then is a major shaper of the things that we have, the stuff that we do in our life. And so the changes are not to be had at the doing level. The changes are to be had at a much more subtle level, such as the words and the beliefs and the quadrants that we're firing off and the results that we're either getting or not getting as a result of that. So the more woo-woo stuff is at a level below thoughts, or I would say probably above and beyond the tangible things that we can measure. I mean, thoughts would be one of those, and that is into the energy that we have, or the energy that we employ. And I was at the dentist the other day, and I think this really brings this one into that area where there's been some root canal filled teeth in my head for a long period of time, and I realised the detrimental factors of it, and I finally got to a position where I'd say, okay, there's 3 root canal filled teeth here, and I want to get them out. I don't want to have dead tissue, dead organs hanging out of my body, because a tooth is an organ. It receives a nerve supply and a blood supply, therefore it's an organ. When it's been killed, in other words, the nerve's taken out of it, there's no communication there. The blood supply shifts and changes because it's no longer alive, and that creates toxins in the system. So that's, anyway, discussion for another day. But the point is that I had x-rays from the last couple of weeks, and we had that up on the x-ray view box in the dentist's office, plus the x-rays that were taken about 4 years ago, which had another tooth that was root canal filled, that had gone really bad, so that had been taken out. So there was one above the other. Now, the dentist then muscle tested me, and he found a strong muscle, and we went through, and I touched every tooth in my head in the current x-rays. And when I touched the teeth that were root canal filled, they registered a weak muscle. The muscles blew out. My body said, "Whoa, that's no good." And so that was fascinating. And the strong teeth in my mouth were fine. And he went through and he pulp tested and confirmed that, in fact, those teeth were not viable. So then what was really interesting was we went to the next x-ray, was taken 4 years ago, and that had 4 root canal teeth in it, the 3 that I'm contemplating taking out at the moment, and then another one as well, and which has already been taken out. And so we muscle tested those. And the interesting part of that was that the 3 that are in situ, the ones that went weak on the current x-ray and they're still in my head, they all went weak. When I touched the 4th one, the one that is no longer in my head but was still there on the x-ray, it went strong. Now, that's fascinating to me, because there's and the dentist explained from his position that there's a resonance or vibration that is on that x-ray. That's what an x-ray is. It's a photograph of energy at the time. And if that energy changes, and we're the recipient of that energy, then our body receives it. Our body is aware of that. So this is one of those innate secrets. It's like, what the heck do we know here? This is, how can we change the energy of the past in the current time. And I would say this comes back to this structure. The structure of vibration, the structure of energy affects a function. It affects the actual physical effects and the physical outcomes that are associated with it. So this is something that you might want to contemplate. There is that I was able to change, or I have changed, not consciously in this case, but changed something in the past by an action in the present, or in the recent time. So it changes what's happened back before. So if we change our viewpoint on something right now, and forgiveness and appreciation and gratitude are ways in which we can do this, then we're actually changing the energy that we've held on something back in the past, and that in effect changes right down through the line. So be aware of this, that your structure, the structure of your thoughts and the structure of your feelings and the structure of your innate expression has far-reaching effects, not just into the present time and maybe into the future, but also into the past. So consider that. It's it's a fascinating thing, and say even a jellyfish has structure, and that's the nature of the jellyfish. It has a very pliable structure. So structure doesn't have to be rigid. Structure is something that that is there for a function, and if the function is to be free flowing, then so be it. If the structure is of the unseen, it's nevertheless still a structure. So until next time. I'm Mark Postles, and consider this wonderful world of structure that we live in. Let us show you how to fire your brain in ways that serve you, so that you can be confident, connected, and bring joy and passion into what you do every day. Get a free copy of my book, The Innate Model. Go to theinnatemodel.com/free book.